I wanted to get a bit more solid on my film process, and I looked into it, and it turned out this was going to be the book to read. Ansel Adams' The Negative, highly recommended. I liked it so much I had to go buy the entire series of 3 books. Of course, I studied photography and I've been using view cameras for years, but even got the camera, I got a lot out of it. It really broadens your horizons. The print is invaluable. It just ties everything together, everything in the data sheets from the materials and chemicals. What attracts me to the Ansel Adams zone system is the fact that there's no happy accidents, and you're not only pre-visualizing the content of your photograph, but the final print and how you're going to produce that print, and most of all, the core of it all is the range of densities in your negative. Anyone who reads blog posts or a book about the Ansel Adams zone system enjoys a wonderful epiphany when you start realizing that you can expand and contract the contrast in your negatives by how you develop it, and thus taking a big step towards easily producing the print you want. Now I'm creating a step wedge with a 5x4 sheet in this Cambo. I have office paper over the lens acting as a diffusion. I've done the same thing to my spot meter. 16.0. Yeah. Run 16. So that's going to create a mid-tone. So to make a zone 1, this light is very, very good and very reliable at adding and subtracting stops. I've measured it, it's beautiful. So zone 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't think I can get it on the camera. I've marked out this dark slide. Record my zone number 1. 3 things to do. Load shutter, lower dark slide. Now adding the same amount of light again, doubles it, making a stop. Load shutter, lower dark slide. But now we need twice as much light to double the previous 2 flashes. Just going to wind that up. Okay, that was zone 10. Obviously I couldn't film that. I like to wind the thing just slightly over 21 degrees and let it fall back after my chemicals have acclimatized. I got myself a new step wedge, and I'm just gonna take some notes for consistency on how I'm producing a test print of it. LPL diffusion enlarger, a 6x7 neg carrier, light depicting the contrast is at number 2. I have an 80mm lens, wide open at 5.6, a contact print frame with what appears to be 3mm thick plain glass. The light is slightly bigger than the 8x10 masking easel, and it is slightly short focused. 8 seconds on your common resin coated paper seems to bring a thin base fog to the paper black. In practice, you can take a scene you're going to photograph of any reflectance range, whether it be a high range or a short range, and then usually decide to process that negative to exploit the full range potential of the negative, so high and low densities. If you are photographing a grey rabbit over a grey paper background and you want a punchy contrasty print, you're going to want the most contrasty negative possible. So for each scene of reflectance range and each desired negative density range is like its own process. So what I've come up with is I'm probably going to develop 4 or 5 different processes to call my repertoire of interpreting a photographic scene into a print. So my processes are going to prioritize negatives that print high density range of print at a contrast grade of 2. I'm talking about variable contrast papers where you use the color of the light to set the contrast. The reason why I want everything to print at a contrast grade of 2 is because it will enable me to apply the split contrast grade printing technique, where you'll print some of your image at 00 contrast, the lowest possible contrast, and some of your image at contrast grade 5, the highest possible contrast, and grade 2 is bang in the middle, so maximizing that effect of split contrast printing.